Did you realize that babies don't come into this world with pre-programmed brains that guide their mental health, their personality, and their personal development and relationships? All of that development happens after birth and is dependent on the interactions that we as parents have with our children in the first several years of life. Every cuddle, every word, every time you comfort their cries helps build the foundation for their emotional health, confidence, and future relationships. But nobody really teaches parents this. You get a car seat manual, but not a guide for building the most important relationships that your child will ever have. So today, we're going to talk about infant bonding, why it matters so much for brain development, and simple things that you can start doing today to help strengthen that connection with your baby. Hello, I'm Dr. Kathy, and I'm a board-certified pediatrician, and I've been caring for children and their families for over 4 decades. So first, what exactly is bonding? Bonding is that deep emotional connection that develops between a baby and their caregiver. It's what helps your baby feel safe and comforted and secure in a world that is brand new and honestly pretty overwhelming and scary. This is also referred to as attachment. Babies are biologically wired to seek closeness and comfort and connection because from the very beginning, that relationship is tied to survival and healthy development. But hear me, bonding is just not those magical moments that happen right after birth. Some parents can feel pretty instantly connected with their newborn, while others take time, especially after a very difficult delivery or exhaustion or stress or postpartum depression. The real bonding happens really in those small, repeated moments of everyday life. When you make eye contact while feeding your baby, when you respond when they cry, when you talk to them during diaper changes, when you sing to them, or smiling back when they smile at you, and simply just being there for them. Those moments may seem very simple to you, but they are incredibly powerful for your infant. Over time, they help build your baby's sense of trust, emotional security, and healthy brain development. Let's talk a little bit about what actually happens inside your baby's brain when bonding occurs, because it's so incredible. Babies are born with billions of brain cells, but those cells still need to build connections over time. And in the first few years of life, the brain forms so many neural connections at an astonishing rate. And one of the biggest things driving that growth is the relationship and the interaction with caregivers. Those repeated experiences of interactions with your baby help shape your body's stress response system, the emotional regulation, the learning, and future relationships. On the other hand, when caregiving is consistently absent or unpredictable or emotionally disconnected, the brain adapts differently, and a baby's nervous system may stay on constant alert and stressed because it's learning that the environment feels uncertain. That's why the first year of life is considered such an important period for emotional and brain development, because loving, responsive care truly matters in a very powerful way. What happens when bonding doesn't occur? Well, first of all, you being here now and watching this video means that you do care. And caring is where bonding truly begins. What the research does tell us is that when consistent early bonding is significantly disrupted or absent, it can have a real negative impact on a child's development. Children who experienced what's called neglect or a consistent absence of responsive caregiving, they show differences in brain development, particularly in areas related to emotional regulation, that is, managing their big feelings, in their stress response, in their social development and empathy, in their language and cognitive development. Studies of children raised in orphanages where they were fed and clothed but had very little personal interaction showed measurable differences in brain volume and cognitive development. This is the most extreme end of the spectrum. But more commonly, disrupted bonding shows up as insecure attachment, and there are 3 main patterns. The anxious child, the one who is clingy and easily distressed and hard to soothe. They've learned that caregivers are not always there for them. A second type is the avoidant child, the one who seems very independent and even very cold. They've learned that expressing their needs doesn't get answered, and so they just stop asking. And then lastly, there's the disorganized behavior, and that's the child who both seeks but also tries to stay away from their caregiver because they've been in a very confused and contradictory type of environment, oftentimes chaotic, and that child never knows what's going to happen next. But here's the most important thing to remember. An insecure attachment is not, fortunately, a life sentence. Research on these children show that subsequent positive experiences with a loving new relationship with another caregiver, a great teacher, or a therapist can reshape attachment patterns throughout childhood and even into adulthood. So, what does secure attachment actually look like? Well, let me give you some examples because I want you to be able to see it and feel it and notice it when it's happening. A securely attached baby is going to use you as a safe base. They'll crawl away to explore, but then check back either visually or physically. Your baby gets distressed when you leave, but then is easily consoled when you come back. Your baby is very easily soothed by your presence. Your baby shows you things, like holding up a toy or points at something and looks at your face to share their reaction. Your baby engages in what researchers call serve and return. They make a bid for a connection by making a sound or a funny look or a gesture, and you respond and they respond back and forth. That serve and return, that's the building block of conversation, of relationships, of learning. It's also just pretty fun and cute. So, what are some tools that we can use for bonding? There are several, and they are all so simple and cheap. One big one are books. And I know what some of you are thinking. Yeah, right. They just chew on them all the time. I know, they do. You're right. Been there. It's a valid point. But here's why starting books at 9 to 12 months of age is generally one of the best things you could do. One, books encourage language development. Babies at this age are at a very critical window for language acquisition, and they're absorbing vocabulary and rhythm and sentence structure like little sponges all the time, even before they even can say a single word. Reading aloud exposes them to dramatically more varied vocabulary than everyday conversation alone. Shared attention. Books teach babies to look at the same thing as you are, which is called joint attention. And it's actually a very crucial developmental milestone that underlies language and social development. What to look for in books to make them interesting for this age? Well, namely board books, because you'll want them to grab and bend and chew on them. Yeah, right. Bright colored images, bold illustrations, repetition and rhyming in the wording, because babies love predictable patterns. Simple text, just 1 or 2 words a page. And then familiar subjects like faces and animals and other common objects within their world. And keep in mind, you don't have to read every single word on every page. Just point out pictures or make animal sounds. Let your child turn the pages. The goal here is connection and language exposure wrapped in a cuddle. In addition to books, there are also games because play at this age is truly development and training as well. Every silly game you play is literally building your baby's brain. Take, for example, peekaboo. Peekaboo teaches object permanence, the understanding that things and people still exist even when they can't be seen. Every time your face disappears and reappears, your baby's brain goes, "Oh, there she is. She's still here." That's a profound cognitive achievement, and it teaches them safety because you always come back. Secondly, a cause and effect type of game, like banging a spoon on a pot or dropping a block and watching them pick it up 400 times. These games build understanding of cause and effect, a foundation of logical reasoning. Yes, even the dropping game. Your baby's a scientist, not a menace at this age. Imitation games like sticking out your tongue or clapping your hands, making a funny sound. Babies at this age will often try to copy you and then look at your face to get your reaction. Imitation is how they learn language, social cues, and emotional expression. Copy them back too. This reciprocal imitation is just pure magic. A simple hide and find. Hide a toy under a blanket while they watch, and then let them find it. Again, object permanence. But in addition, it's also problem solving and triumph and joy when they find it. Narrate it. Where's the bear? Is it under here? Oh, you found it. Singing and movement. Games like Itsy Bitsy Spider, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, Patty Cake. These all combine, if you think about it, rhythm and repetition and physical touch and your face and voice all at the same time. They're neurologically rich experiences that also feel to your baby like pure joy. The key with all of these, just follow your baby's lead. If they look away, they're telling you they might need a break. But if they laugh and bounce and keep going, that back and forth, reading their cues and responding is itself the most important game you'll ever play. Here's what I want you to take away from today. You don't have to be a perfect parent, and you don't have to get every moment just right. The research is clear that what matters is not perfection, it's the multiple attempts and repair. If you miss a cue, you'll always get it and come back to it. If you have a hard day, just reconnect the next day. That return after repair, that is the secure attachment lesson that your baby needs most. All you need to do is pay attention and be amazed at what your baby does and keep connecting. That's bonding. It's already happening via books and games and eye contact and singing at 2 a.m. All that counts. You count, and your baby already knows it. I hope you found this topic interesting, but yet helpful as well. And if you'd like more practical evidence-based guidance for caring and raising your child, I also wrote the Kids Medical Care Handbook to help parents feel more secure and far less overwhelmed in times of their children's sickness and injuries. You can scan the QR code on the screen here, or you'll find the link in the description below. If this video was helpful, please give it a like. It helps other parents find it when they need it most as well. And subscribe if you would like more evidence-based, judgment-free parenting advice and content. I'll see you in the next one.